Hi guys, this is Maggie from Digital Nomad, and in this video I wanted to talk to you about a new topic within the Digital Nomad journey, and this is about checking the new house sitter assignments and reading the house owners' profiles and basically the details to look for when picking the new assignment because um, if you will be there for a longer time, you have to make sure that it is aligned with your plan. So if you are planning to work online, you have to make sure that the internet is fast, that there's a good connection with Wi-Fi and so on. And it's surprising how often you find, especially in UK, that rural areas have got quite patchy internet, or some of the houses are much bigger and they've got thicker walls. And if they've got a router downstairs, the signal could not reach upstairs if you like to work from your bedroom and so on. Obviously, these are like little details, but it's worth asking the owners before you decide to take the assignment, because obviously, you still will have a huge selection of houses to choose from, and you have to choose the one that will help you on your journey, will help you grow. And today I prepared a list of the things to look for or to check before committing to house sit for somebody. For example, for me, the most important thing was distance to shops. I did not have the car back then, and if the owner did not leave me the car, basically I would walk everywhere. And if I needed to do the weekly shopping or daily shopping, obviously the distance to the nearest grocery shop or cosmetic shop or other convenience store was very, very important. Majority of the locations, if they are outside of the city center, they are nice enough to leave you the car. But to be honest, if I was, I think about had 8 or 10 assignments, housing assignments, and only I had access to the car in only 2 places, but they were very remote locations. So I think that was the only way to get there, was by car. But it is not said that everybody will give you the car. Some people will only be looking for house sitters with their own transport. So it's worth checking the profile if that's the requirement before contacting them or before arranging a house sit. Or you can even ask them, how far away is the nearest grocery store. Um, Even what are the prices? They can be like convenience store, but it can be very small, and you won't be able to find more sophisticated items like your favorite coffee or nicer shower gels and so on. So it's worth checking. Internet, obviously, that's what I mentioned at the beginning. For me, it was like the first thing that I asked about, because I had to work online. I spent this time when I was house sitting. My main goal was to work online and to grow my company. So obviously, internet was a lifeline for me. So yeah, so that was my first question. What's the internet connection? Is there Wi-Fi? Is it reliable? Is it available in every room, and so on? If you go there with family, if you go there for a holiday, definitely ask about other things as well, like TV, if they've got multimedia, what kind of cable TV they've got, what other attractions are there, for example, for the kids and so on. And other what is the household secure? If you've got small children, obviously you can definitely travel with children, or you can house sit with children. These are extra requirements, so you need to arrange it with the house owner first of all. But maybe not most, but some of them, mark that it's family friendly or children friendly. So you will be able to find a decent selection as well if you're traveling with family. Um, Now, one more thing is walkable area. If you like walking, especially if there are pets around, are there nice areas to walk around? I love walking. I used to walk, and I'm still walking about 2 or 3 hours per day. It's a fantastic way to, to stay in shape, and you don't have to torture yourself with the gym. You just put your favorite music on for those 2 or 3 hours, or I was listening to some kind of motivational videos on YouTube or some kind of e-learning courses as well. So that's the great way to do that on the fresh air. And if I had pets to sit, obviously I was taking them with me. So if walking or if jogging or exercising is quite high on your agenda, definitely do check with the owners as well. Car. So as I mentioned before, find out if you will have access to the car. If owners are happy for you to use the car, don't use the car if the owners left behind. Even if you've got the keys available, don't use the car without their consent. So all has to be arranged beforehand. What I would recommend not asking about the use of the car if they haven't took that action and proposed that to you, because that would be a little bit of off-putting, especially that the house owners have got like hundreds of applications to choose from. So if they have arranged with themselves that they want the house sitters to use the car, yes, that definitely is a bonus. But I wouldn't say that you have to, inquire about using a car. It's a very, very personal thing, and it's easy to break it. It's easy to, to have some complications if they're not comfortable with you using the car. I will mention it. I will mention it. You can ask about the transportation situation, and if they say, public transport, obviously don't push about using their car or anything like that. You can always rent a car. Obviously, it's additional cost for you if you're like me and you want to spend this time to keep the costs down. Definitely walk or rely on public transport. Pets. And obviously, you have to ask about the pets. Most of the house sits will come with the pet. Sometimes it's only a cat, and these are the easiest things because with a cat you can leave the house all day long, especially if the cat has got a flap. They can let themselves in, let themselves out. You just have to feed them once in the morning or once in the evening, whatever their schedule is. Some pets only eat once a day. So keep the same schedule as the owners asked you to. Obviously, it's more complicated with the dogs because dogs need at least 2 or 3 walks per day. They need regular feeding, but as I mentioned, some of the pets, some of the dogs also only eat once a day. So it depends on on how the pets, how the owners really feed them. They don't want to disturb their feeding pattern. It's obviously different if you will have horses like I used to have, but horses, I think you just need to, depends on the ritual. You just have to let them out in the morning and bring them in the evening. So in the meantime, you obviously have got time to yourself. Ask if there are any special requirements when it comes to pets. Some pet owners are very particular when it comes to their pets. Some of them are very relaxed and they are flexible with with how you will look after them. But some will give you the list about what kind of toys to give them, what kind of food to give them, what hours do they walk, where do they walk, and so on. So yeah, make sure to find out well in advance. If you're okay with the list, that's fine. But yeah, make sure that you're fine with the list and just follow the list um, to the points that you are comfortable with, and obviously don't just leave it and forget it. That's not very good, especially that the owners will give you feedback after you leave the assignment. If you are planning to find more assignments, it is necessary that you that you get a positive feedback from the owners, because it's all about trust. The Trust House Sitters website especially is very sensitive when it comes to any complaints. It happened to me that my account was blocked. I had to open a new account because my account was blocked because I received a negative feedback. Even though I followed up with the Trusted House Sitters, they didn't seem to be wanting to listen to both sides of the conflict. They just took the owner's part. So yeah, you have to take it into consideration that you are sort of rented help. So it won't be a total freedom as going on a holiday, which, after a while I found it very frustrating, and that's why my house sitting was only for about a year. Especially my last house, it was quite draining. So, but never mind. So you have to take it into consideration that you will be like rented help. So you will be, you will have to be on your best behavior even when the owners won't be there. And yeah, if you have arranged a sit-in after the one that you're looking to book, definitely look for the transportation. What is the situation? How long will be the next transportation from one place to another? And as I mentioned in the last episode, will there be any gap between the house sits? Will you have to need a hotel, or will you be able to stay an extra night? You can ask them if you have next house sitting the next day, or you can travel throughout the night, which is also a great way to save on accommodation costs. We just have to leave previous house sitting place quite late in the afternoon, catch the late or the night train or the night bus, and then travel like that. And obviously travel costs. You have to take it into consideration. You have to check the travel costs, the trains, the buses. Would it be viable for you to take this assignment? Sometimes you will be tempted to go to south of France. Like, I had a chance to go to south of France for 3 months, but then it turned out that the cost of booking it last minute was quite high, and didn't really make sense for me to do that. And I think the house in the end was like there was no heating. The owners were living in at the winter, in the winter, and the heating was quite high. That's why they were leaving, and they didn't want me to use the heating. So yeah, that's not the best. And I think you don't want to be stuck in a house with no heating for 3 months. So you have to look at these details again. It's worth, asking questions. The more questions you ask, people, will be happy to answer these questions. Nobody will be lying to you. Nobody will be hiding the details unless, you don't ask. So yeah, make sure to find the accommodation that really suits your needs. For example, I didn't need any multimedia TV. I even preferred when people didn't have any multimedia, because I really, really was desperate to focus on work. And there were a few house sitting assignments when I was booked in, and people had this kind of huge TV screen with Netflix and other places, and it was like aching me inside, because I knew that I have some kind of plan. I need to stick to my plan, and it was so tempting just to spend the day or the whole week just watching these multimedia items. Yeah, I still remember that. I feel like that, but yeah, you have to think what is your priority and then stick to that. Anyway, I hope you like this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye.